Aloha champions, and welcome to another project video for the week of May 24th. This is the project that is recommended to do on Tuesday, May 25th, 2021. Yes, you can do this in any order that you want, but this is the one scheduled on Tuesday. You've drawn and created a map. You're building the world and the ecosystem and biome. Now, what I would like for you to do in today's project is you're going to pick an animal that would reside in this island. And I want you, with research, to come up with a 1 to 2 paragraph research paper on this animal. If you get really excited and go beyond 2 paragraphs, that's perfectly fine. If you want to give me as much information as you can about this animal in your own words, not just copying and pasting what we find on the internet, I would love to read your passion about this animal. And this animal can be a prehistoric dinosaur, it can be an extinct animal, an endangered species, or an animal we can find in our everyday lives. But your animal must make sense. Like I said, my island is a desert island. It would not make sense to have a penguin or a polar bear on my island. I need desert-dwelling creatures. So make sure whatever animal you're picking makes sense for the environment that you are creating for your animal. Okay? So some questions to ask before you embark on researching. What animal are you going to be writing about? If you're having troubles, maybe pick your favorite animal and make it work for your island. Maybe go back and change parts of your island if you find that your animal needs a certain climate. Let me know what family this animal belongs to. Is it bird, fish, reptile, amphibian, or mammal? What types of things does this animal eat? Is it a herbivore and eats only grass and leafy things? Is it a carnivore and only eats meat? Or is it an omnivore and eats anything? Is your animal diurnal or nocturnal? Does it sleep all day and wake up at night? Or does it sleep all night and wake up in the day? What kind of things does this animal do to make sure that it survives, that it continues to live? And what types of things might threaten this animal, whether that is predators and carnivores trying to eat it, whether it is pollution or trash, what kind of environmental impacts might be affecting this animal. Okay, so I have a series of 4 different websites that I want you to utilize in research. You don't have to use all 4. You can pick and choose what makes sense for you. I have kids.nationalgeographic.com/animals, animalfactguide.com animal facts, ducksters.com/animals, simple Wikipedia. Okay? And so here's an example of what these websites look like when you get to them, starting with National Geographic Kids. If I click on here and maybe I'm interested in a prehistoric animal, I'm clicking on my prehistoric animals and it's got a lot of wonderful pictures. It's taking a while for this to load, but maybe, a rainforest. Maybe I want to change my whole island. It's no longer a desert, but this Microraptor in the forest. That could be a fun one to learn about. If I click on that, I can read through it and it will give me a detail. Some of these are longer than others, and it just takes some time in doing that. But you can click around. Plenty of different animals are there and give us different information depending on what we're interested in. Animal Fact Guide also gives us some animal facts about animals. They've got a few on the homepage, but if you really know that, hey, I want to write about a desert tortoise, I can use the search function in here, and my computer doesn't want to work, but it will find me desert tortoise. And so maybe I'm reading about some hatchlings at a California zoo or Carolina zoo. Animals or ducksters for kids gives us a whole bunch of different ones. I know polar bears don't make sense for my island, but maybe polar bears work for you. And it gives us some good details as to our animal and what goes on with there. And then simple Wikipedia. It's Wikipedia, the world's largest online encyclopedia that people can alter. The simple version makes things at your grade level. Sometimes you read Wikipedia articles and they are written by people who are in the field. The simple Wikipedia one I found makes things a little easier for us fourth graders to understand. But it gives us different details like this. If you find other websites to go to do your research on whatever animal it is that you've picked, that is perfectly fine by me. Just be careful and use parental guidance. These are the 4 that I know are good for scholars if you find others and can find your research there. But as I'm looking through here, maybe on Post-it notes or on a scratch piece of paper, I'm just writing down fun facts that I'm learning about this animal as I read. Because I don't want to give what another website has given or what another author has written. I want to write about it in my own words. So if I shorthand notes, then it makes it a lot easier to write my 1 to 2 paragraph essay about this animal, where I know I'm not copying what somebody else has written, but I'm putting it into my own words. So I wound up studying the desert tortoise. And some of the notes that I came up with in my research for the desert tortoise, I can then put together into this 1 to 2 paragraph essay. Ultimately, I want 5 to 10 sentences. More is always appreciated if you want to go above and beyond or just get really into your animal. But I didn't copy and paste. I didn't Control-C, Control-V to get this information. I wrote my notes down, and then I wrote this essay on the desert tortoise. The desert tortoise is a reptile that inhabits dry, arid climates in the American Southwest. Desert tortoises are primarily diurnal creatures that come out in the day to warm up in the sun. So already I've told you that it's a reptile, that it lives in the Southwest in the desert, and it comes out during daylight. They are herbivores by nature. Tortoises eat only vegetation that grows in the desert. And they'll eat whatever vegetation that is, any small bits of grass or whatnot, but they only eat grass. And they absorb all of their water through the grass and vegetation that they eat. In the winter months, tortoises go through a type of hibernation where they sleep until it warms up. Sometimes this can be 5 to 6 months long, where they are underground in a burrow and just hibernating until it's warm enough for them. And they have long lifespans and can live up to 40, 80 years old with the right care. So that's an example of my essay. I didn't copy and paste this. I went to those websites. I went to several other websites, and I just wanted a general background on this animal. So while you're doing that for whatever animal you pick, just make sure that you're putting it into your own words. This essay right here, I can tell Mr. Chambers wrote it because of how many commas there are and the length and structure of the sentences. It's a little more complex writing than many fourth graders can do, so just make sure that it is your own writing. Okay? But hopefully you have fun. Hopefully you find out some fun, interesting facts about an animal you've always been curious about or interested in, fascinated by, and have fun with this part of our mini projects for this week.